Okay, it feels like this offseason is so important for the Pistons. Every offseason is important, but this one feels like if we cannot get this right, then I I just don't know if we go into another rebuild, what it looks like, but the Pistons are right there. And now one of the big things, of course, we're going to acquire players this offseason, but the coach that we're looking for. So the Pistons just made a really sneaky, smart move, I think it was. And what they did was they brought in Kevin Ollie to be interviewed. Now, Kevin Ollie is the first person that they interviewed, and this is why it's really interesting to me. Kevin Ollie, remember, he took UConn right after Jim Calhoun retired, took UConn, I think the first or second year, all the way to the national championship and won it. I think it was like a 7 seed. So, and then something weird happened where he got fired, and we'll get to that in just a second. But remember, he was there for about 8 seasons, and it was about 8 years ago. So now since then, he's just kind of laid back. Right at first, he got a couple looks at head coaching jobs elsewhere after he got fired at UConn, but then since he's just kind of been behind the scenes, and this is where it gets interesting, as head of coaching and director of player development at Overtime Elite. Now, this is interesting. It says it right here. This is from Detroit Bad Boys on SB Nation. The NBA draft's consolation prizes is what they've been called. The Thompson brothers, that they expect them to go 4 or 5 in the NBA draft. Remember, the top 3 really franchise changers. Of course, the top 1, the first guy, Wembanyama, is the number 1 guy. He's you've never seen anyone like him. He's the LeBron type of once every 20, 30 years comes by. Then the other 2 are really good. And then the Thompson brothers are there at 4 and 5. Now, remember, the Pistons can pick as low as 5. So they've got the best odds, along with 2 other teams, to pick number 1. Most likely they're going to pick top 3, but they could drop all the way to 5. So it's almost like you're hedging your bet to go with a guy that in Ollie that's great at player development with young guys, and he's familiar with the Thompson brothers that could be there. Because, yeah, it's been great if you had the top 3, but if you get the Thompson brothers, maybe you get a little edge there. So remember, he had a messy divorce with Connecticut, but this guy was incredible. Takes the UConn Huskies right to a national championship and wins it in his first season. So maybe you're wondering, what the connection is real quick. Right here it says, probably wondering what the connection is. Troy Weaver, well, Ollie played his final season with the Oklahoma City Thunder in 2009 and 2010. He was a veteran mentor in adult room for a team that won 50 games that year. And that was Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka. Crazy that team was there. But anyway, Kevin Ollie, I think it's a nice move. There's some different names being floated around. He was not one of them. But the more I think about Ollie, the more I like it, because he's used to young guys. And that's the thing with Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey, and I'll get to what just a reminder of how he got fired at UConn. But just remember that Dwayne Casey, I don't think is a bad coach at all. I just think it was time. And he wasn't a good player development coach. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on Kevin Ollie. Forgot about this guy. Thoughts on this guy, because it's been a while. And there's some other coaches we're looking at, but this one just kind of jumped out because it's a little newer and didn't expect it. Now, remember, Kevin Ollie gets fired after the 2018 season in Connecticut. Remember, they won the national title, and then from there, it was just kind of a slower downhill battle, or downhill wins, and then he only wins. Doesn't do as well the last 2 years that he's there. And so in 2018, they decided to fire him amidst violating some NCAA rules. But he says, no, that's not true. And he's like, I want my $11 million. I'm like, no, you don't get that, because there's some stuff going on. I don't think we want to do that. But he says, okay, then it's race discrimination. And I will sue you for that. So like, okay. So they settle outside of court for $11 million. And he had a good record as the coach of the Huskies, but I think more importantly, he's a guy that's around basketball, around the young players right now, as he's with the Overtime Elite, can handle the young players. You really need a guy that can develop these young players, play defense, and really take that next step, because we know Cade's going to be coming back. We know Ivy, Duran. We're going to add another good rookie. we're going to also add, we've got enough cap space to do things. We're going to have a bunch of guys. It's like, we got to go this next year. We have to win. There's no more finishing last in the East, last in the NBA. We can't do that anymore. We have to get better. Everybody's got to get way better really, really fast. So I don't know. We just, this off season's everything. We have to get better. We have to pick the right coach. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Ollie, yes or no? I could see no. I could say, here's the argument against no. Yes, he won the national championship with UConn. That was forever ago. And since he won the national championship with UConn, probably Jim Calhoun's players, it was all decline from there. And then he's just been out of the game really for the last 8 years. It's not like he's been an NBA coach or anything like that. So it's easy to say no, but I like it. I like going a little different. I like the energy. I like something that's different, completely different than Dwayne Casey. That's what I really like as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.